Good morning. Thank you for joining me, Coach Michael, on your Monday morning. When I was a new coach about 7 years ago, there was an organization that's been around since 1924. Today, they're 94 years old. Back then, they were 87 years old. They were a pioneer in the industry. And I thought, man, I'm going to go into their local store and really learn something about a brand and a culture of a company that's been around almost a century. So I walked into their store, and up front, the manager was sitting at the front desk with his feet up on the desk, talking on the phone, and didn't even acknowledge me. Okay. And I walked into this special room they have within the store, and I started talking to the young lady. I said, could you tell me a little bit about this room? Can you tell me about your qualifications, why you represent this room? She goes, well, I just know my job. Ooh, sorry. And then I went to the salesperson out on the floor, and I asked him, I started a conversation. I said, let me ask you a question if I could. This company's been around for 87 years at the time. They have a brand. They're a pioneer in the industry. What was it about you that made you want to represent this brand? And he looked at me and said, I need a job. To tell you, when I walked out the door, I was a bit confused is an understatement. I had this conversation with my coach and told him how confused I was, that I was really looking for a message here and I wasn't getting it. And he says, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I got to call him. But here I am, a coach, 1 year in the industry, and this company's been around for 87 years and a pioneer in the industry, a brand leader. Are you kidding? What can I bring to the equation? It took me 3 weeks to get the guts and the courage to just make the call. And I got the second in line on the phone because the first in line was deceased. And I told him about my experience in his store. And his answer to me blew my mind. He says, you know, Mike, this probably isn't the right answer. But sometimes you just gotta fill a seat. When there's an opening, you need to fill it, and you just get whatever warm body you can get in there just to fill a seat. And I'm thinking, are you freaking kidding me? You have a brand of 87 years old, you're a pioneer in the industry, and you just got to fill a seat? That's your hiring process? That's how you build your culture? I couldn't believe it. And here's a man that's been in business longer than I've been alive, silent, and asked me what we should do next. But the reason I bring this up, there's a moral and there's a theory is hire slow, fire fast. But why do so many organizations, especially smaller organizations, hire fast and fire slow? You don't hire anybody, you don't fire anybody. They either qualify or they disqualify. When you do a hiring type meeting, don't interview them one at a time. Do a conference that you're sitting down with maybe 10, 15, 20 applicants. Walk in with pride and share your brand, your culture, your vision, your mission, what's your organization all about. Get their feedback and see which ones are willing to step up and represent that brand with pride instead of you just trying to fill a seat. Because trust me, if your hiring process is just trying to fill a seat, you'll fill a seat, but how long is the question? And you just have to go through the process over and over and over again. We all have pride in what we do. We have a brand. We have a reputation. When you're looking at hiring or onboarding somebody to fill and represent that brand and that reputation, do it with pride. So remember the theory. Don't be like this companies that have been around almost a century, but unfortunately lost their way and are doing it wrong. Set the standard. Be proudful of what you have in your brand and your reputation, and really see if the people are willing to step up and represent that brand with the same type of pride and professionalism that you bring to the equation. If any of you need a little bit more assistance in our entire hiring and onboarding process, feel free to give me a call. In addition, have a wonderful week, a productive and profitable one. See you next Monday. And like always, thank you for joining me, Coach Michael, on your Monday morning. Go get them.